Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Celine from Fake Zine. I hope everyone is safe at home. Today, I'm checking in with Manila-based designers of fashion brands Vilquin, B.JPEG, Antonina, and O224 by JP to talk about how they're doing, how they're adapting during these times, what they see is the future of fashion after this COVID-19 pandemic, and of course, to talk to them more about the collection they just launched earlier this week with us at the Fake Store. So first off, I have Jose Francisco V. Aquino Jr., for short, JJ Aquino. Hi, JJ.
Hey, hi Celine.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
So before we have a chat, let me just give everyone some background information on JJ. JJ is an architect who moonlights in fashion designing. He's a fairly new designer as he just graduated Fashion Institute of the Philippines last year in 2019, where he won Designer of the Year award and got to present his collection at Laos Fashion Week 2019 in Vientiane, Laos. His brand, Vilquin, is all about bringing traditional Filipino craftsmanship, aesthetics, and textiles to the now. All right, so hello again, JJ. How are you doing?
Hello again, and hello everyone who are listening to us right now. I'm doing fine. Doing fine. Yeah.
Okay. Where are you currently quarantining at?
Right now, I'm here at my studio for this interview, pero for the most part during lockdown, I'm just at home with my partner, Michael, and our two dogs, which is about 5 to 10 minutes away from where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. So it's the 80th day, 88th day for us since enhanced community quarantine was announced. How has life been for you as a creative and also personally?
As a creative, well, in general, it's not been easy for the past 2 months. I think, like most of us, we're very anxious about the future, what will happen next. For our office, like yung architectural practice namin, we had to, well, we're not yet in operation right now, so we're still studying when's the best time. And of course, kasi yung may mga bagong protocols with, yung pag nag-operate na ulit yung office. And then for the fashion naman, the fashion side of my career, everything was also put on hold because when this started, of course, yung mga inquiries from clients about made-to-order projects, clothing, everything had to stop. So, pati yung, of course, when this started, all the stores were closed. So, as much as I wanted to do stuff at home, just to, parang ihasa yung creativity ko or do stuff, wala ako masyadong stuff to work with because very limited lang yung supplies ko. And yeah. And then on the flip side naman, parang I also see it na parang if I aggressively put time and effort into the brand prior to COVID, and then this happened, I will be in a much deeper financial dilemma. So parang in a way, I'm seeing the different side of things then.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about a lot of negative things and how you haven't really been able to produce, but is there any positives that came out of this, like creatively speaking?
Yes, a lot. Of course, I think as creatives, as artists, kapag we're put in situations like this, it's very natural for us to have other outlets. So I've been thinking of a lot of clothing, parang plans for future collections, although everything is still jumbled in my head. Wala pa talagang concrete, like, a collection. Pero I've been doodling, sketching a lot of stuff. And then recently, like, my mom handed over mga acrylic paints niya. So this is my first time to paint with acrylic paint. So on one end, I'm doing that. I'm exploring other avenues for my creativity, and then I'm thinking na baka pwede ko din siyang i-incorporate for future projects, future collections.
Right. So with that being said, how do you see the future of fashion with after this whole thing?
It's good that when this whole crisis started, there has been lots of webinars about where the fashion industry is headed, and I've been able to listen to most of them. And I agree with um, all of the people who have been interviewed there. Na there will be a significant change in the fashion industry in all aspects of it, from producing the products, from consuming the products, from displaying the clothing. I think for designers, we'll be more conscious about the things that we put out. Um, Kasi parang everything is in excess. So parang this also became a time for all the designers to be more introspective in a way. And then for consumers naman, people are gonna be more conscious about the things that they buy. So kasi yun nga yung finances natin are all put on hold. So mas magiging matipid tayo. So mas magiging mindful tayo of the things that we buy. Clothing kasama na doon. And then sa retail naman, it's also good na yun nga, I'm a practicing architect. So the way I see it, even the way that shops, clothing stores will be designed will change. Kasi we don't know, kailangan pa ba ng mga fitting rooms? How are we going to display the clothing if people are going to go inside the store? So everything is affected.
So one of the main causes of your brand, Vilquin, is about supporting Filipino ethnic communities throughout by using fair trade and sustainable practices. Your designs are very heavy on Filipino textiles. Can you talk about that, and also just like how you see them being affected or the communities you're working with?
Well, first thing, yung sustainability kasi it's been widely used in the fashion industry. On one end, the sustainability concept of practicing fair trade, especially when working with communities like this, it should continue. Meaning, we should give the rightful credit and monetary yung monetary credit of the products that we get from these artisans, because what most people don't know, the reason why we're paying this X amount of money for a very parang artisanal piece of textile, it took years to produce. Tapos I think with me working with communities, it would not stop. Kasi for the most, I mean, to begin with, itong mga textiles na to are mainly produced at home. So they were not really affected by the pandemic kasi it's a home-based industry. So they don't have to go to a studio to do their stuff. But I think the main problem would be yung the logistics and the timelines of deliverables of these products to designers. And also, I think yung using of technology, kasi most of these communities are not well equipped with mga computers for conversing na ganito, like Zoom and webinars. So I think the challenge would be working with them na ganito na yung platform for the meantime. And I think as a designer, the way I see it, if this would continue for the next couple of months, I really would want to somehow siguro save up enough money rin in any way, so that I could also give probably equipment for them, so that yung conversation and yung communication namin will be easier.
Like, do you think they'd be open to moving forward, like, and using digital technology to?
I think so, because there's yun yung magiging new reality for all of us. So I think as designers, we have the responsibility to equip them with new technologies, and also introduce them or try to explain to them na ito yung magiging way of communicating for the meantime. I mean, for me, I really want to communicate with them, face to face, kasi it's easier for me to also translate what I want, like the design that I want for the textiles, the colors, ganyan. But yun nga parang we have to live by this new normal for the meantime. So I think we have to educate them in that sense.
Okay. All right. And one thing I noticed since the lockdown is people are now really trying to support local, shop local. Do you think, as a designer whose DNA is about supporting Filipino communities, you're at an advantage right now? Do you think that people are more interested in your brand now or your cause?
I think it has an advantage because since most of the supply chain are greatly affected, so there's the local manufacturers, for example, they could step up, and local designers like myself and the other designers, we would have to really tap into yung fellow Filipino manufacturers natin, garment producers. And with doing that, I think people would be more aware that as Filipinos, we could actually, get our raw materials from fellow Filipinos. You don't have to import stuff like that. And then when this pandemic also hit, if I noticed now, one of the first industries who stepped up is the fashion industry. Most of the fashion designers and the fashion practitioners, they took initiative to produce garments for the frontliners. And I think that aspect of being yung very adaptive natin as Filipinos, na-highlight siya with what happened with COVID.
Mm-hmm. So you created one of one upcycled RTW ready-to-wear collection and a line of totes for us, available at the Fake store. Mm-hmm. And it's called, I'm actually here, I'm wearing one of it. This is Sakta lang, which is like, yeah, and the collection's called Tambay, which pretty much means chillin in Tagalog. Can you tell me more about it, the concept and the process you went through, maybe what kind of garments you used upcycled?
First things first, I was really very excited when you tapped me to be part of this project. So the whole collection, kasi yung Tambay collection, is really based on parang very nostalgic memories of my growing up years in the 80s. So the main concept, there are several inspirations for the collection. Pero one of the inspirations was this sitcom in the 80s. It's called John and Marcia, starring si Dolphy, a very famous comedian, and sila Nida Blanca. And then I remember during that time, kasi yung character ni Dolphy, although he was working, he was perceived by his mother-in-law na parang kontrabida doon, na tambay lang, walang ginagawa. And then I remember when we were watching this with my family, parang all of us were just in the TV room, just lying down. And it's a very parang fun experience or fun memory for me. So yun yung tumatak sa akin. And then the clothing, like the silhouettes, are also inspired by the sitcom and that period, na parang very loose-fitting shorts, loose-fitting shirts. So mga ganon. Tapos yung isa pang inspiration was this, as when I was researching parang itong image na to of a lechero. Ano siya, it's a milk vendor during the early 20th century. So when I saw this, I thought to myself, ang cool naman nung nagbebenta ng gatas. I mean, take away yung base na to. Parang I thought to myself, parang kamukha niya si Pharrell Williams. Alam mo yan? So parang may ganong vibe. So when I was doing the collection, siya yung naging parang muse ko, na parang all of the things that I designed, this guy was in my mind na parang pwede niya kayang isuot, bagay kaya sa kanya. So it was still in line with yung promoting being Filipino. And then for the materials, I used mostly upcycled materials like secondhand barong, which I asked my friend Mariton to naturally dye. and then mga scrap fabrics from my previous collections, and then mga ukay-ukay, repurposed ukay-ukay garments. So yeah.
Can you talk about the materials, like maybe which communities you tap for the garments?
Well, with regards to a specific community, wala. Pero like yung mga ibang scrap fabrics, like the hand-woven textiles, came from the retazos from my graduation collection. So it's mga hand-woven textiles that were woven by a group of women from Marawi. So some of the pieces actually have those textiles, even the tote bags that I produced. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when I was picking out designers to collaborate with us, one of my main goal was really to make high fashion more accessible to everyone, to a wider crowd. That's why we're making this RTW. I feel like there's a really big custom scene here with fashion, but there isn't really much of RTW. And when you think of RTW, maybe it's streetwear already. And I found it so interesting when you made a collection for us that is streetwear, but not the typical streetwear that I would think of. Like, because when I think of streetwear, it's really about more hip hop or, you know, like more Western. But so like when I first saw your collection, I didn't really connect with it because I was like, they're old fabrics, yeah, Filipino, that's cool, but like how is this streetwear? And then when I thought about, you know, your inspiration and the standby and like it is streetwear, but like really Filipino streetwear, you know? Like,
yeah. When I saw the photo of the lechero, the milkman, I thought to myself, at one point in our history, men wore barongs and women wear, you know, ternos and, you know, mga traje de mestiza, and those were considered probably streetwear during those times. So of course we have to adapt with, you know, yung culture natin today. So I thought to myself, how can I reintroduce these looks or these textiles into a much parang now na audience? So probably I mean, honestly, I'm not really well versed yet about the whole streetwear subculture. That's why I'm very much excited about this project because I'm learning in the process. So, pero my idea of streetwear when I was doing this is yun nga, parang ang pumasok sa isip ko is yung just chilling out with your friends, very relaxed clothing, and then the barongs that I had asked my friends if they could donate, I deconstructed them and turned them into t-shirts, simple t-shirts, para mas wearable siya. So parang, in a way, hindi rin siya masyadong alienating na parang, ay, masyado namang, ano yan, parang old-fashioned or something. So, yun yung naging parang concept ko din with the whole using of traditional materials. How can I make it more accessible, parang more not too alienating for the younger set?
Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, JJ. Any last words? Maybe you can promote your brand and also ask people to shop at the store.
All right. Thank you again, Celine, for this opportunity and for asking me to be part of this project. And please follow Vilquin, my brand, on Instagram. That's at Vilquin_Manila. And don't forget to shop for my Tambay collection, which will be out at the Fake store. That's at thefakezine.shop on Instagram and /thefakezine/shop on Facebook. Also, check out my feature on Fake Zines issue 00, Gangs of Manila, which you can also which you can also buy at the Fake store. And then when you buy a copy of the Fake Zine magazine, you get one of these face masks. There's two types that I made, but yun, I'm doing face masks along with my fellow designers who are part of this project. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, JJ.
Thank you, ingat.